there's lots of literature out there. So I started looking and reading, and some of the stuff I never would have even thought of or think of, or where gratitude went with some of these authors. I was surprised. I was out of the box of what I usually think of. And so it's huge, as I think you all know, that it's just pages and pages, books and books, commentaries, quotes, everything. And I thought, well, I'll just get quotes and read those for 20 minutes and you'll understand those. But I did run across some stuff that made me go, why? Are you kidding me? But it made me think differently, and also kind of stretch my limits. And one was by Barbara Friedrichsen. She's the author of Nickeled and Dimed and Bright-Sided. And her views were a little different from what I'm used to. And some of the things that she was saying was that gratitude is a positive emotion, and it's an emotion, it's a feeling. And even back into Aristotle and Cicero, that they never even considered gratitude a virtue or an emotion, or brought it into their realm of thinking. And what she had said is that positive emotions broaden our awareness of the world, allowing us to become more in tune with the needs of others, which becomes compassion, and oftentimes action then leads to action. But some of hers, she was saying about the Western culture, the Western literature about gratitude, that it calls upon us for an attitude adjustment, a reorientation of our mental thoughts. That one of the statements she made, which I have read over and over, and then read others to sort of help me with this, is that it's a time that is to make us all content with fewer opportunities than previous generations. Gratitude is a draught we drink to remain calm and carry on, calling for acquiescence, not action. The correct hoopla around gratitude is a celebration that is fruitless, self-congratulatory, self-absorbed, and pointless. And that one stumped me and made me pause. Gratitude on a Western scale is what she's talking about, is indebtedness. I'm so grateful for you for giving me this opportunity. I'm indebted to you, indebted gratitude. And I hadn't really delved into that much of the indebtedness of gratitude. That then you do a service for me, or you give me something, or it's out here, and I've got to repay you. And how will I do that? Or you hear people with such magnitude of, I'll never be able to repay you this gratitude that you've given to me. And I'm sort of going, wow, I hadn't thought of that. So some of it is bringing back in more of an Eastern philosophy, more of a spiritual philosophy, rather than looking at gratitude from how it's kind of been in the past, that now I have to repay you, and oh my gosh, what am I going to do? That for me, the gratitude is something that's really within. That it's a process. It's something that didn't just, boom, there it is. It's been understanding it more. So there's a guy, Jeremy David Ingalls, who wrote The Art of Gratitude. That to rethink gratitude and how we relate to each other and how we act. If we think of gratitude as to rethink individualism and democracy. Really. To rethink gratitude, I love this part. When I read this, it was like, oh my. To rethink gratitude is necessary for our future on the earth. Then I go, how much gratitude have I been doing? With reading this, it almost, or is for me, one of the tenets, one of the very basics of science of mind, Christianity, many other types of philosophies and religion, of gratitude. That if you want to pick one, because you know, in science of mind, Centers for Spiritual Living, they give us so many tools that if you don't like one, I'm sure you're going to find another one. But gratitude is one that is so basic, so root to everything else. What that does is either delve into it, consider it, what happens. Now that gratitude is personal, it's individualized, and it's a social construct. Like you can learn it. It's not something that you're born with, but the ability to change your mind, change your brain, change your life. And in that process, you, as an individual, changes what happens, how you think of other things. It's pervasive. It just doesn't stay in this containment. It goes into all parts of your life. You're not just grateful for having goodness, having whatever that is to you, but also being grateful for when it's tough, when it's challenging, when you're going, grateful, with teeth clenched? I'm not sure I'm grateful for any of this. However, as we know that the brain is plastic, it's neuroplasticity, it's able to change, make new pathways, physically become new, different. That with a type of gratitude that we practice, that when times get rough, that thought of gratitude doesn't stay in the background for years and years and go, oh, I was so grateful that thing when I was 10 happened because it made me fill in the blank. It becomes something that comes to the surface sooner and sooner and quicker. So with the practice of gratitude in the good times, gratitude feeling comes when it's challenging. When your mind, or when my mind kind of goes, I don't see anything good here. How can I be grateful for this incident? And what happens, I believe, with the practice, with seeing more, that thought becomes quicker and quicker. And you see the good faster and faster. Or the positiveness that comes from this, even if it's painful. It's knowing that there's something here. There's something that this happened. That I can make a shift in consciousness to possibly go from fear, from rage, from anger, from despair, from giving up to hopelessness, to something that is positive, that is coming from there. I may not see it today, I may not see it tomorrow, but just for me, that thought of, this is on purpose, this is a blessing in disguise, if we want to use that term, to be open to receive the goodness. That I don't have to go digging around. I don't have to go to other people, which is all possibilities, to find, what do you see good here? What do you see good? That just knowing that the universe is intelligent, it's wise, and that as that is my belief, I've been taught, I've been open to receive the goodness. So I don't have to make up what became good, I just need to remain open to it. Open to receiving the gift of clarity, of softening of heart perhaps, of emotions. That I either get a time, or do I keep stepping back in? Which is okay. Stepping back in, kind of, you revisit it and you're in a different spot. It's not the same spot that you were in. You're able to see it from a different point of view, depending on what work or what calmness and serenity and surrender that you've given to allow a different point of view of the hardness, the tragedy, the suffering. And what some have learned, there's a PhD, Robert Emmons, he's out of UC Davis, and he's the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. Wow, okay, and if the cost of his book is any indication, he is. I said, oh, that sounds great, I'll order that. I think I'll wait. Maybe I'll read some other things first. But he has done lots of scientific studies looking into, from our Western point of coming from, science and what does it mean. So there has come a lot of perks, a lot of things that being in gratitude, being grateful for, that is physiological, that is sociological, and more. So on the physical level, you get stronger immune systems. You're less bothered by aches and pains, yay, and stress. You get lower blood pressure. You tend to exercise more and take better care of your health. Sleep longer and feel more rested when you're waking up. Also, people are less depressed and less often depressed. And you're more resilient to trauma, physical, emotional, any of those. You have greater optimism. You're happier. You have improved feelings of connections in times of loss or crisis. Increased self-esteem. You feel more confident. You're more alert, more alive, more awake, more joy and pleasure, optimism and happiness. From all of those, plus how you now see the world, goes out into your relationships, goes out into social convention. You're more helpful and generous and compassionate. You're more forgiving, more outgoing. You feel less lonely and isolated. And lately, what I feel I've seen is hearing, older people who lost a partner, moving to where they know no one, that isolation and feeling lonely is huge. Even at times if you have a community, or you're not taking advantage of it, that you individually begin to practice or continue to practice your gratitude. And it makes for greater connection. And it's said it for relationships and for happier marriages. So wow, I hadn't expanded that far on all the benefits of gratitude. That since it's a social emotion, that if I'm not already feeling in gratitude, what am I holding up? Why am I not doing it right this moment? That the practice of gratitude, of gratefulness, is a practice as, kind of like meditation. When you've practiced enough meditation or enough gratitude, you're done. I've reached it. I'm over. Any of us who's been in sports, who have been in this community, we don't stop meditating. We don't stop doing prayers because, oh, I've done enough today. You know, I'm done. It's an ongoing thing that when that practice is over and over, it just becomes part of you. It is you. And in that, you just live from that spot of happiness, alert, alive. That gratitude is most strongly associated with mental health. And I think we have seen recently of how mental health has been looked at lately, and that this one idea, this one practice, this one solid foundation of making a difference in people's lives, of just bringing this forward, that it's more important than I ever thought it was. So it has impacted my life from the reading of how important it is to me on a personal level. You know, most of us here know that as we shift our consciousness, as we perceive ourselves and or our world in a place of positiveness, that it affects others, that it changes them as well. That when I started this, I kept thinking every morning, just when I was waking up, gratitude, gratitude, thankfulness. It's made me want to help others. And I'm not saying, you know, take over things, it's opening doors, you know, thanking them for the littlest thing of, you know, that bread is really good. That I'm going, oh, I'll talk to someone and tell them what I think about this, or I heard from someone, this really helps, whatever. And I haven't found anybody who just kind of looks at me like I'm crazy and wants to walk away. They become more engaged. And what happens then is that I believe those people see how it's done, they notice what someone else has done for them, and then they go, wow, that was cool. I think I'll go help Mary Jane. I'll go see if Ed needs anything. That it becomes then this ripple effect, that you drop in your pedal of gratitude, of thankfulness. It ripples out to 1, to 2, and those 1 or 2, as you know, it goes, it's a avalanche, a good one, that then creates the space for more to happen. Gratitude also allows us to be in the present, mindfulness, to look, feel around you of what you're grateful for. So it's not always about receiving from somewhere else. The deepness of this gratitude work on a spiritual level is bringing each and every one of us deeper into who we are, into the divine, into spirit, with a feeling and an acknowledgement that everywhere you look, everything you see, smell, hear, in the quiet, was here for each and every one of us. It's a gift. I'm a gift, as you are. That keeping a journal, the writing, the actual physicalness of writing, brings it into our neural pathways, brings it in to all of us on a deeper connection. Reading out loud what we're grateful for embeds it even deeper. So the practice, the repetition, as we know, makes neural pathways, changes chemicals in the brain. Since we're a body in this space, the changes that go on within our systems are affected. Lower blood pressure, less bothered by aches and pains. Wow, that gets our attention. So it's a feeling. So there's different exercises that one can do. So they're tools that we can actually do to promote this within each and every one of us. And it says that gratitude blocks toxins, negative emotions. Gratitude can reduce the frequency and durations of the depression. You cannot feel envious and grateful at the same time. That people who have a high level of gratitude, who live from that feeling and that spot, have low levels of resentment and envy. So I don't sit there and go, wow, look at all that I have. Wow, I want what you have. I want what you have. And looking at the glass that's half empty. It's like, oh, I'm grateful, but I'm not really, I want more. The more that you practice, notice gratitude, the magic of having more opens up. That more comes to you. As you open to receive, it comes. God gives only what you can take in. Expand your gratitude. Expand your journal writing. Expand the time that you are just living in gratitude. Just being that person. Just being that place that happens. That along with all of the practice, the inward shift is that you get a higher sense of self-worth, more confidence. Oh, I am important. And what you do is you become important to yourself. We usually look out there for validation, for compliments, for am I okay? And what happens after hearing that or looking and being grateful is it turns more and more inward to I am worthy. I am worthy of this and so much more. Your abundance quota opens up. It allows you to be humble in the receiving part. It's easier for me to give. I mean, I grew up with it's better to give than receive. Oh, okay. So to receive was challenging. Here, let me give this to you. No, that's just too much. No. As I push that away, I'm pushing away everything. I'm pushing away love, friendships, of no. And if you've ever had someone that you're wanting to give something to and they literally almost push it back to you, how does that make you feel? kind of wanted to do something terribly unspiritual and slap them around and go, wait a minute, hold on. You've given me so much. Give me the gift of giving to you. The reciprocity, the reciprocal of, and the circulation of give and take. How good of a receiver are you? Are you, this is more than I deserve, and that's also made you smaller. Open up that you deserve this and so much more. That it expands you, and there's no limits to that expansion. It's limitless. It's infinite. Michael Beckwith, founder of Agape, gratitude places you in the energy field of plenitude. Perceiving life in a consciousness of gratitude is literally stepping into another dimension of living. Suddenly, the seeming ordinariness of your days takes on a divine spark. So we're not just trudging through life, getting up, going to work, that we are then in a divine place. Our attitude of gratitude shifts. It changes everything around us. Not only ourselves, but those who are around us as well. The vibration of gratitude attracts more positive things into your life. It's magic. How does that happen? I open to receive. I'm grateful for what I have. Wow, look how much more is coming in. This is like amazing. And that amazement never leaves, never becomes humdrum. Only if you let it. Only if you stop noticing the gifts that are everywhere present. Even in our Science of Mind treatment, which is our affirmative prayer, we have steps. One of the steps is gratitude, thankfulness. Yes, I'm thankful for what I have spoken and what I feel. So the beginning is the words. What words resonate with you? Which ones go, oh, I like that. Energy, surprise, delight, sparkle. Bring those into how you express gratitude. In your journal, in your brain. Affirmations are gratitudes of. I'm grateful for. I live this life in fullness. It's the feeling behind it. That if the feeling's not there, sit for a moment. Do a meditation. Just be receptive. That what you ask for is already given. You can ask yourself, what am I closed to? Well, when you think about it, think through it. Oh, I really didn't want that after all. Whew. Good thing I didn't get it. Good thing I didn't go on with. The gift is recognition, insight. And I printed out pages and pages of gratitude. And this one by William Arthur Ward, feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. It's something that is to be shared, is to be out into the world, out into the universe, from a place within you that is always filled up and overflowing, never diminished. As each of us decide, contemplate, bring in, and make it part of us as our breathing. I'm grateful. Do I have to put a whatever it is? No, I'm just grateful. I'm filled up and overflowing, knowing that I'm always in that presence. And by Ernest Holmes, I liked this one because for me it shows the hugeness, the bigness of the importance of gratitude. I am guided by the same intelligence and inspired by the same imagination which scatters the moonbeams across the waves and holds the force of nature in its grips. I'm connected. I am part of that. We all are. And a way to bring that home, to bring it as close as our breathing, is to bring forth the gratitude that's in each and every one of our lives.